Four degenerates who call themselves friends
Let's take a vote, keeping in mind that you don't get a vote.
just bought a bar together.
I have good news! I've been reading up on the subject of pedophilia.
Wow, that is good news.
FX presents the other side of comedy, weird sex.
Is that a penis in your pants?
Yeah, I've seen you at the gym. You're ripped.
Don't turn this around. Yeah? Maybe I'll give you a call sometime.
Terminal disease.
I found out I might have cancer, so, ooh.
Charlie has cancer!
You poor baby, I'll be right down.
You were right about that. Cancer? Gold mine.
And unwanted nudity.
What does your brother do?
We just stepped out of the shower.
Did you say we?
Opportunities like this don't come along every day.
You got black women crawling all over you, and this Mary over here is the belle of the ball.
How's that ass feel?
Why do these people like you guys so much?
Because you're an asshole.
Is that true?
Yeah.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Premieres Thursday, August 4th at 10:30. Only on FX.
Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to the Happiest Cast on Earth, the show where we review anything and everything that was somehow released by the Walt Disney Corporation. I'm your host, as always, Ryan Johnson. Joining me today on this week's episode is the lovely Jordin Francis. Jordin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Ryan. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So, Jordin, why don't you just go ahead and tell us about yourself? What's your major? What you do?
I am a graphic design major here at Concord University. I'm in the band, also the choir, so I tend to do a lot of music-related things. I am also in APO and just kind of, do stuff with them.
You're just an all-around artsy-fartsy type of gal.
Exactly. That's exactly what I am.
Speaking of artsy-fartsy, the topic of today's discussion will mainly be on the fartsy side.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that is an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. In particular, Season 1, Episode 5, Gun Fever. Now, Jordin, I have to ask you, have you ever seen an episode of this show prior to watching the episode in question?
I have not, no. I normally don't consider myself a sitcom person, but I watched it and I thought it was actually pretty funny for sitcoms, or what I thought sitcoms were. Yeah.
I have kind of like the bit of the advantage here because I actually have seen a few episodes of this show very, very sporadically. Mm-hmm. But from what I've seen, I have really enjoyed it. Like, prior to watching this episode in particular, I can only really name like 4 episodes that I had seen. But what I had seen, I thought it was really friggin' funny. My favorite episode that I had seen was actually the first one I watched. It was when the gang all went to a water park and they wreaked havoc. And like there are 2 characters that got stuck in a water slide because they laminated the wristband they've kept for 20 years. The main character is teaching this kid how to steal things. And probably my favorite subplot is when Charlie and Danny DeVito's character, Frank, who is sadly not in this episode that we'll be discussing, they pretend that Frank has AIDS so that they can cut the line. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's a very fascinating show because it's really one of the first examples of a popular anti-sitcom.
Yeah, I guess you could say it was very, very anti-sitcom. There was no laugh tracks. There was no pausing for anybody to really take in a joke. It was just very sporadic humor, very in your face. Mm-hmm. A lot of stuff would also catch you off guard as well.
Yeah, because it really is one of those shows that has just awful main characters in it, and that's really the textbook definition of an anti-sitcom that is like, we're like, the show knows that the main characters are awful people and they never win in the end. Like,
yeah, no, like no one is completely winning. It's like either it's a lose-lose game almost.
Exactly, yeah. So in fact, like, it is kind of funny that this show is still going on to this day on like its 17th season.
Yeah.
And the characters are all still stuck at the same old dead-end jobs that they had in their 20s. It's honestly like, it's kind of one of those shows you don't really want to see end because you want to see just how much stupid stuff can they get away with and how long can they keep this shit going. Just I'm not talking about the writers, just the characters. How much can these people get away with?
Yeah. Just
But
how stupid can one group get?
exactly. And, you know, they're all idiots, too. And that's just usually, like, in comedy, when, like, everyone's the idiot and no one's really the straight man, that can be a disaster. But I think what's brilliant about It's Always Sunny and with the episodes that I've seen is that, yes, they're all stupid, but depending on the situation, so-and-so can be smarter than the other.
Yeah, it's a very... Sometimes someone's smarter than the other, sometimes someone's stupider than the other, and sometimes they're all just... It seems like they're just collectively stupid sometimes.
Exactly, and that can oftentimes make for very good comedy, which is what we will see in the episode that we will discuss today. So, everyone, we will be right back with our thoughts on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Season 1, Episode 5, Gun Fever.
Have you been feeling sad, lonely, or overly stressed out lately? As students with extremely busy lives, it's easy to fall to the everyday grind and find ourselves feeling down. But wait, there's a fix to that. Concord offers free one-on-one counseling to all part-time and full-time students. Counseling is completely confidential, completely voluntary, and completely helpful. To make an appointment with a licensed counselor, just log on to concordcounselingcenter.youcanbook.me and schedule a time that is convenient for you. The Counseling Center is located at the Athens campus on the 3rd floor of the Student Center in rooms 321 through 325. If you don't feel your best, you can't do your best. So start by making an appointment today to start feeling like the best you possible. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by WVCU.
All right, we are back. So, let's go ahead and get into talking about Gun Fever. Now, I have a fever, and the only prescription is more guns. And that will be the only walking joke I make today. So, one immediate elephant in the room that we have to discuss before we dive right in is that with Season 1 of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, this was the only season in the entire series that did not have Danny DeVito in it playing Frank Reynolds, the father of Dennis and Dendra. So, and you know, with every other episode that I had seen, it has had the glorious little trash man in there. I will admit it was a little weird and naked without him, especially since in like all of the promo footage that you will see, it has him like front and center.
Yeah, it's like Danny DeVito is part of the face of the show, and he's just not there in Season 1.
Yeah, which is kind of like still amazing that like the show is still pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. Even without his character.
Yeah, but like when they would eventually add the character in, there's like, okay, we had a puzzle piece without the end, or we had a delicious sundae,
mm-hmm.
and we didn't have the whipped cream on top.
Mm-hmm. and they put him in there, and it probably made the sitcom more of like comedic gold.
Mm-hmm. So the premise of this episode in particular is that there's this guy who was going around robbing all of the bars in Philly, and the characters Dennis and Mac are like, "Hey, we should get a gun
for protection."
I mean, one of them was like, "That's the initial idea," but the other one just wants to have a gun just so they could fire it and shoot it at random objects in the shooting range.
And they did.
Yeah, they got the gun, and they treat the gun like they're a couple of idiots. Like they don't want to. I think there's kind of like a childlike wonder with them having the gun. Like they're not trying to hurt people with it.
They just want to shoot a gun.
Yeah, they're just to them it's just a toy.
Yeah.
which is super stupid, especially like today with the issues of like gun violence today, and they literally all just want to do is just shoot it at a target and just scream like a little girl. That's just funny to me.
It is really funny. And it's also funny how they kind of fight over it, like siblings would. It's like, I want the gun. No, I want the gun. And then it's like, they're just like flailing it around throughout the entire episode. And it's like, guys.
This is, okay.
What are you doing?
so this is a true story. I work with a theater company in the summer where every single year we do productions that require live firearms because they're outdoor dramas. Shout out to Theater West Virginia, by the way. And every single year we go over extensive gun safety. Like even when it's not loaded, you need to treat it like you are holding a loaded weapon. Mm-hmm. So to see these idiots just
like
flailing it around like it's a freaking yo-yo or something, like, I mean, part of me is just like, that's not what you're supposed to do, but I also just can't help but laugh at the absurdism.
Mm-hmm. I think I was constantly scared throughout this episode that they were just gonna end up shooting themselves or like another person. It was I don't know.
Oh, we'll get to that later. That comes into play. So meanwhile, at the same time, Dendra is dating this guy named Colin.
Mm-hmm.
And so Colin, he's really into guns.
He is.
Like
extremely.
In a very, like, not even like the normal creepy way. It arouses him.
Yeah. Like, it's a very, like, sexual manner for him. And it's not... At first it's not comfortable, but then you can kind of laugh at it as the episode goes on.
It's funny. It's funny to me because of how far they take the material.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just funny because, oh, so-and-so is treating a gun like a children's toy. It's funny to just how much they escalate it to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Like it's like when they go to the shooting gallery, like when Kala takes Dendra to the shooting gallery and he asked her if it turns her on. Like, I'm sorry, that's funny.
It is a little funny. Yeah, I agree.
But by far, probably I think in the moment of the episode where I thought it was probably the craziest scenario is when Charlie takes the gun to his apartment.
Yeah. That was like a little bit unexpected, but...
So, like, during the episode, Charlie's behind on his rent and gets in a very heated fight with his landlord. And so this idiot takes the gun without saying anything because like, while they did get it to mess around with it, it is also for protection because there is robbers in the area.
Right.
So, like, he just takes the gun without saying anything to anyone, And what he does is that he just puts it in his pants, and when his landlord comes, he just stretches his arms so that like he can see the gun. And Charlie's just like, yeah. So what you doing?
Yeah, he pretends like it isn't there, even though it's not a very active threat, but it's still kind of a threat. Like, leave me alone about my rent.
Yeah, I thought that was funny because I just thought he was just gonna shoot his landlord.
Yeah, I did too. I thought that was really funny.
It's funny because, like, at least in this episode that I've seen, like, a lot of like what's happening isn't because these characters are actively trying to make people's lives worse. Mm-hmm. They're just stupid. They are complete idiots that don't even know what they're doing. It's awful.
Yeah.
Now maybe there are other episodes where they are actively trying to make people's lives worse. No, wait, I just realized there is one episode that I have seen where Dendra did try to make someone's life worse. Mm-hmm. It was an episode where this male stripper screws her over, mm-hmm. and so she like, without him knowing, makes him like the stripper at like his daughter's like party.
Oh my god. Oh no.
And like he doesn't realize that's his daughter until the lights come up and they're both screaming for their lives.
That would be mortifying, I think.
Yeah, so that's like an example of how far this show can go from what I've seen. And I know they also recently just did a crossover with Abbott Elementary.
Did they?
They did.
Oh my gosh.
It was like a two-parter where like part one was like an episode of Abbott Elementary where the characters are volunteers at the school. Mm-hmm. And part two was an episode of It's Always Sunny, which shows like all the unused footage of the characters just wreaking havoc on the school.
Oh my god!
I haven't seen either of them, but from when I first heard of its announcement, I was like, "This is such an interesting crossover."
It is very interesting, and for them to just show like the non-released footage from Abbott in It's Always Sunny, I don't know. It just, that alone that screams very funny to me.
Like
honestly.
Like, it's so crazy because, like, the name of the second part, which is an It's Always Sunny episode, is literally called The Gang F's Up Abbott Elementary.
Oh, my God.
Which is insane to me.
The episode titles also got me as I was scrolling to, like, find episode 5. I was like, what are some of these titles, man? Excuse me?
You see, It's Always Sunny. It's definitely a sitcom that you will not be bored by. Doesn't like to get into the old tropes. It always wants to keep you guessing. And my lord, it's kind of crazy just how funny this show was early on. Mm-hmm. Because like with sitcoms especially, it takes them a while to find their footing.
Right.
I mean, they may have not gotten their cast fully set yet, but like early on, they knew exactly how they wanted these characters to behave.
Right. It was there from the get-go.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of things from the get-go, we're gonna go ahead and take a little bit of a break, and when we come back, we'll discuss the ending bits of the episode and just how absurd this crap can really get. So please stay tuned for that.
Depriving your body of the 8-hour sleep it needs every night, even if just by an hour or two, has dramatic effects on your health, greatly increasing your risk of heart disease, hampering development of cancer-fighting cells, and weakening your immune system. College life requires a functioning mind and body to succeed. Studies show losing sleep affects your GPA. Stop pulling those caffeinated all-nighters and get the necessary 8-hour rest your body needs to thrive. This message was brought to you by WVCU Mountain Lion Radio.
Everyone is online and connected one way or another, from phones to computers, even watches. Huh? We can get the latest news on social media, even WVCU. Yes, WVCU has a Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for you, our audience, so you can stay tuned in and see what is happening at WVCU 97.7, from getting show times to seeing the members at WVCU. If you want to find our social media, just look up WVCU on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And go ahead and follow us if you haven't already. Why? Because WVCU is here for you.
Alrighty, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Alright. So, this freaking episode. So, our boys, our wonderful, beautiful boys of Dennis and Mac start to piece together, hey, wait a minute. This Colin guy, he's really into bartenders, and he goes to bars.
And he made comments about like the safe and everything.
Yeah, he did. Maybe he's the robber. And so they grab the gun from Charlie and they try to find this guy at a spot. They find him and they give him a proposition like hey guy, we actually have like another safe, but in our bar.
Register.
Yeah, in the cash register. We keep money in the cash register. So
And
just
that was
thought I'd let you know that for safekeeping, because you're a trustworthy guy. We're going to go party and have a drink, you know?
Yeah, and they told him that to kind of like bait him so they could catch him, but...
Well, we cut to later at night.
It wasn't Colin at first.
Nuh-uh. It was freaking Charlie trying to steal from the bar because he's behind on rent. But, Dennis doesn't see it and still shoots him in the head.
And then he's on the floor and he has to go to the hospital.
Yeah,
in which
so
ensues
at
an
this
argument.
At this point, Dendra finds out that they got a gun.
Obviously.
And they all bring him to the hospital, and, Charlie's, fine at the end. And the boys agreed to Dendra that they would get rid of the gun, because Dendra doesn't really like guns regardless. Mm-hmm. But once she's out of the room...
Oh, they're agreeing that they're keeping the gun. They're keeping the gun.
They are keeping that gun, and that is going to be their favorite thing in the world. But that's already a really funny ending.
It is.
But...
it gets funnier.
Afterwards, after the commercial break, we cut to Dendra on the phone. She's talking to Colin. And we cut to Colin at the bar robbing the place. Going, God, these guys are stupid.
And our two stupid boys were actually in the right to think that Colin would steal from them. And oh man, he is a thief and a cheater.
Yeah, just think, all of this is Charlie's fault.
Yep.
If the thing is with Dennis and Mac, they were technically testing out the gun. They were being stupid idiot boys with it.
Mm-hmm.
But
as
at the
boys
end,
tend to do.
But at the end, they were testing out their new gun. That's essentially what they were doing, and they were having fun with it.
Yeah.
Charlie was the idiot who stole the gun and decided to steal from the bank, steal from the bar when he knows that somebody already robbed the bar and thought that it would look like that other guy robbed it and get himself shot in the process.
And then while he was in the hospital bed, he was like, oh, we could use it as insurance and get claims on it. And it's like, that is the stupidest idea that I think I've ever heard. And it's like, why would you think that would work? Like, just entirely, man. Come on.
You never know.
That's
It's
fair.
so stupid. These guys are stupid. How are they even alive? They're so stupid.
Yeah, how are they surviving? How do they have a job, for starters?
I think there's like a season 15 episode where Frank and I think Mac, it's either Mac or Charlie, one of the two, like they live together and they realize that there's like another bedroom in their apartment after 10 years.
Oh my god.
And I think one of them just been sleeping in the bathtub this whole time.
Oh my god.
Like there's been a bedroom in here the whole time.
I feel like sleeping in a bathtub for that long would kill my back and every bone in my body.
Yeah, but Danny DeVito can handle it.
That's fair. Yeah. That's entirely fair.
I feel like he was actually born in a bathtub, though.
Maybe. Danny DeVito is
He just came out like a little goblin in the bathtub. Be like, I have been born.
Yeah.
I have been created into this world of human and flesh.
Danny DeVito is 100% a character.
It's funny that he's done a lot of voice work when himself is a cartoon character.
Oh yeah, no, he is just a cartoon character that is just a human, and it's great. We love Danny DeVito.
And to be honest, I think that is probably the best way to describe It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It is really a live action cartoon.
Yeah.
More than a sitcom.
Yeah.
Because
I feel that.
Because the characters are in these exaggerated, wacky, absurdist situations. You don't really want to root with them. You just want to see whatever funny, stupid stuff happens to them.
Yeah.
Because they're terrible people.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they get punished in the end, and it's really funny because, like, you know, you never really wanted to. You don't really, like, I don't know, root for Tom to catch Jerry, depending on the short.
You just kind of, you want to see Jerry like win over Tom, like every time.
Yeah, cause like, yeah, that's it. Plus, like, the classical music really does help it stand out. Because, like, it in many ways, it is kind of, like, similar to, like, Family Guy, where it has, like, this wacky, absurdist humor with terrible characters and really good classical orchestral music playing throughout.
That's always been, like, kind of a funny thing about Family Guy, I guess. The random classical orchestra pieces you hear just throughout.
Well, that's also because, like, Seth MacFarlane is just a really big music fan.
Yeah.
Like, in particular, like, classical music in general. That's why Family Guy has several musical numbers, and that's why MacFarlane himself has a singing career. So,
regardless, it's still cool.
Yeah. This kind of is like, if anything, specifically like a live action Family Guy without the family element.
Yeah. It's just kind of like,
it's Guy.
Yeah.
It's Guy.
It's Guy.
Just Guy. But yeah, that's very, very funny, especially with like the music just kind of bringing you into like a mood that's like, oh, this is nice and comfy. Oh, here's all the wacky absurdism.
And it's like, wow, this is super sporadic, and I wasn't expecting any of this. Like, how did we start from point A and then go to point F already? Like, where was that? What happened? What did I miss?
This show is just one big roller coaster, and I don't think any of us are wanting to get off of it because it's just a fun time.
It is a pretty fun time, yeah.
Like, you never know where each episode is going to go because it's constantly trying to subvert your expectations. Like, even with this episode, the direction you think that it might go, they don't end up doing it. Because, like, you're always on edge. You're always thinking to yourself, like Colin in particular, like, is he the robber? is he the robber? One notion's like, oh, maybe he's not the robber, because that would probably be like the obvious thing you would think.
Right.
And then when Charlie shows up, you're like, oh, Colin's definitely not the
Yeah.
robber. But then it's like,
Yeah, you were wrong.
But yeah, that's show's just really funny.
It is. It is.
I know this episode has kind of just been reduced to us two just saying that, oh, this joke is really, really funny. The show's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like with a show like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, what more can I say?
Yeah,
The show's
it's
just really, really funny.
It is.
But I think probably the funniest thing about this show now is that it's a Disney show.
That is right, because
like
Disney owns Hulu, doesn't it?
Yeah, they own Hulu, but in particular, they own FX.
That's right.
The production company of this and the network that it airs on. Now, technically, they did not make this episode in particular.
Yeah.
I think, like, specifically, like, the Disney season started around season 13.
That makes sense.
13 or 14, because that's, like, Disney bought Fox in 2019, and Fox owns FX and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
so,
you know, that's what makes it qualified for this show, because like it's still airing after the buyout. Where like any other like Fox show that like first aired in like 2005 but like ended before the buyout happened, like that doesn't count.
No.
But this show does.
This one kept running.
And I'm glad that it does, because it's super funny to call this a Disney show.
It is. You wouldn't expect it. Obviously, it wasn't made by Disney, but you wouldn't expect it to be bought out and then continued by Disney.
I just thought of something. So this show is now owned by Disney. It is a Disney television program. It may not have their logo on it, but it is owned by them.
Right.
They need to do an episode where the gang goes to Disneyland.
Oh my god. I think that would be hilarious. Like, the sheer chaos and havoc that just, like, the four of them could cause. Like, the two dudes, the girl, and their boss.
You could do a meta moment where Danny DeVito meets Hercules.
Yeah, dude. Like, that would be so funny, I think.
But also just, like, I can't even think of any specific ideas, but, like, it would be funny. And it's not the first time, like, a crazy show like this went to Disney World or Disneyland, because, like, back in the 90s, Roseanne went to Disney World.
Yeah, and, like...
And that's not even a Disney-owned product. It was just on a Disney-owned network, ABC. So, yeah, I'm putting it out there. The gang goes to Disneyland. FX, Disney, make it happen. If you can make them cross over with Abbott Elementary, you could make them go to Disneyland.
Go make them say hi to Mickey Mouse.
Go make them, like, I don't know, Charlie wants to date Moana or something like that. I don't know.
Like, I don't know.
Just like,
make them mess up a
guys,
roller coaster.
I've really had a crush on Ariel ever since I was a kid. But anyway, Jordan, I probably don't even have to ask, but how would you rate this episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, in particular, on a scale of 1 to 5? 1 being a giant Pooh Bear, and 5 being a grand shining castle.
I think 4. I think that's a good I thought it was funny. It caught me off guard, and that's why I'm giving it, like, the rating I am, because it's like, it caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it to be, like, not follow the same formula that every other sitcom has, like, with the laugh tracks and, like, with like the sets, and, like, it feels very real almost. Like,
and yeah, there's an interesting discussion that can be had about, like, the history of sitcoms and how they've, like, formed into being more real. And It's Always Sunny was just one of many that followed in those footsteps on trying to make you feel more like it's real and not just a TV show.
Yeah, because to me, sitcoms have always kind of felt like fake kind of ish, like fake-ish, and watching the one episode of It's Always Sunny that I did, it was just kind of like, whoa, right out of the gate, this is not what I was expecting, even though it was like rated MA, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, whoa, man, this is actually kind of funny, and it kind of changed my perspective on what sitcoms are or could be.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that. I will definitely give this episode a big ol' 4 out of 5. And that will be it for this week's episode of the Happiest Cast on Earth. Jordin, thank you so much for coming on to the show this week. Do you have anything that you would like to plug or promote?
I guess not really. Thank you so much for having me, though.
No problem. Thanks for coming on. Because I have something that I would like to plug this week for once, and that is my production of Avenue Q at the Raleigh Playhouse in Beckley, West Virginia. There are 3 shows left tonight, Friday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. Please come by. There's a bar downstairs if you'd like to get your little drink on. It'll be open before the show. So please come out and support that show. It's very fun. And if you like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, you might like Avenue Q. And please be sure to join us next week on the Happiest Cast on Earth, where we will be taking a look at the Miramax film starring Wesley Snipes called Undisputed. I've never heard of it, but it might be fun. But until then, I will see you later. Bye!
When you wear a shirt, make the difference. Will you fucking